Imagine a world 200,000 years ago where the first Homo sapiens were walking the fertile lands of Africa. In the vast expanse of time that is our planet's history, the dawn of human civilization is but a fleeting moment. However, this moment, brief as it may be, is one of profound significance. It marks the beginning of a journey that would see our species rise from the humblest of origins to become the dominant life form on the face of Earth. Africa, the cradle of civilization, is where this remarkable journey began. The continent's fertile plains, teeming with life, were the perfect breeding ground for the earliest Homo sapiens. The fossil record tells us a story of these first humans, their lives, their struggles, and their triumphs. In the eastern part of the continent, particularly in Ethiopia, we find the oldest known fossils of Homo sapiens. These relics of our distant past, dating back to 200,000 years ago, offer a glimpse into the lives of our earliest ancestors. They tell us of a time when humans were just beginning to understand their place in the world, a time when survival was the only goal, and every day brought a new challenge. But humans, as we know, are a resilient species. Despite the harsh realities of life in the wild, these early humans persevered. They learned to harness the resources around them, to hunt and gather food, to create tools, and to protect themselves from predators. Over time, these small groups of hunter-gatherers began to grow and evolve. They developed more sophisticated tools, learned to control fire, and started to build shelters. They formed bonds, established social norms, and shared knowledge across generations. In short, they began to form the first rudimentary societies. These societies were the seeds from which the rich tapestry of human culture would eventually grow. They marked the beginning of our collective journey, a journey that would take us to every corner of the globe and beyond. As they evolved, these early humans began to form the first rudimentary societies, setting the stage for the myriad of rich cultures to come. Scene script. Fast forward to the Bronze Age, Africa was home to some of the world's most powerful and innovative civilizations. As we journey through history, let's delve into the rich tapestry of ancient African kingdoms, each with its unique contribution to world civilization. First up, we have the enigmatic Kingdom of Egypt, a civilization that needs no introduction. Known for their monumental pyramids and the mysterious Sphinx, the Egyptians were also pioneers in the field of writing. They gave the world hieroglyphics, a complex system of pictorial writing that continues to fascinate scholars and enthusiasts today. Moving south along the Nile, we find the Kingdom of Nubia, often overshadowed by its northern neighbor but no less significant. Not only did the Nubians build pyramids, they built more of them than the Egyptians. They also developed a distinctive script known as Meroitic, demonstrating their intellectual prowess. Next, let's traverse to the eastern horn of Africa, where the Kingdom of Aksum flourished. Aksumites were known for their impressive stone obelisks and their own writing system, Ge'ez, which is still used in Ethiopian liturgy today. They were also one of the first empires in the world to officially adopt Christianity. Finally, we journey to the northern coast, to the mighty city-state of Carthage. A maritime powerhouse, Carthage was the undisputed ruler of the Mediterranean, famed for its advanced governance and military strategies. The Carthaginians gave us the concept of a republic, a form of government that continues to be the backbone of many modern societies. From colossal pyramids to intricate scripts, from stone obelisks to republics, the ancient kingdoms of Africa made significant contributions to the world. Their innovations in architecture, writing, governance, and more shaped the course of human civilization. These ancient kingdoms left an indelible mark on the world, their influence still palpable in modern times. And as we explore further, we'll see how the legacy of these ancient civilizations continues to shape Africa and the world. As we step into the Middle Ages, Africa's wealth and strategic location attracted traders, invaders, and colonizers. The Middle Ages in Africa were marked by a surge in trade, particularly across the vast Sahara Desert. This wasn't an easy route, mind you, with scorching sun by day and freezing cold by night. Yet the allure of riches was enough to drive traders across these harsh terrains, birthing the trans-Saharan trade routes. These routes became the arteries of commerce, connecting Africa's interior with the Mediterranean and the Middle East. But what were they trading, you ask? Gold and salt were the principal commodities. Yes, salt. In those days, salt was as precious as gold, used in food preservation and considered a symbol of luxury. Gold from the rich mines of West Africa was in high demand in the Mediterranean world, while the Saharan salt mines were a crucial resource for the African interior. This gold-salt trade led to an influx of wealth into West Africa, fueling the rise of powerful kingdoms like Mali and Songhai. Yet the trade era wasn't just about goods, it was a cultural exchange as well. With trade came travelers, scholars, and Islamic merchants who brought with them the religion of Islam. This led to the spread of Islam across Africa, influencing local cultures and birthing Islamic states. These states, particularly in North Africa, became centers of learning and culture. The city of Timbuktu, for instance, was revered across the Islamic world for its grand mosques and universities. But as with any era of history, this period had its share of calamities too. The wealth and strategic location of Africa attracted not just traders but invaders and colonizers as well. This marked the beginning of a long and tumultuous history of invasions and colonization that would shape Africa's future. This era was a mixed bag of fortune and calamity, of prosperity and exploitation. The Middle Ages and the trade era were a pivotal period in Africa's history, laying the groundwork for the events that would follow. The winds of change blew over Africa in the 19th century, bringing with them the chill of colonial rule. A period known as the Scramble for Africa was set in motion. This was a time when European powers, driven by the desire for wealth and influence, carved up the continent without regard for its indigenous cultures, societies, or borders. The impact of this colonial rule on African societies was profound and far-reaching. Traditional ways of life were disrupted, as foreign laws, religions, and languages were imposed. Economies were restructured to serve the needs of the colonial powers, often leading to exploitation and the displacement of local populations. This was not a passive process though. The African people did not simply accept this new order. Resistance took many forms across the continent. Some fought back with weapons, engaging in armed conflict against their colonizers. In Ethiopia, the Battle of Adwa in 1896 saw a decisive victory for Ethiopian forces against the Italians, preserving their independence. In others, resistance was more subtle but no less powerful. Intellectuals and leaders used education, religion, and political organization as tools to resist cultural assimilation and to fight for their rights. As the 20th century dawned, these resistance movements began to coalesce into a broader struggle for independence. Nationalistic sentiments were ignited, fueled by a growing awareness of the injustices of colonial rule. Leaders emerged, rallying their people with visions of a future free from foreign domination. It was a long and often bloody struggle, with many sacrifices made in the name of freedom. By the mid-20th century, the tide was turning. One by one, African nations began to claim their independence, throwing off the shackles of colonial rule. The process was not smooth, and the scars of this period are still visible today, yet it marked a crucial turning point in Africa's history. Despite the hardships, the spirit of Africa remained unbroken, a testament to the resilience of its people. The struggle for independence had shown the world the strength and determination of Africa, setting the stage for the continent's next chapter. In the wake of independence, Africa faced the daunting task of nation-building. These newborn nations, each with its own unique blend of ethnicities, languages, and cultures, were tasked with forging unities from diversity. The challenges were immense, ranging from economic development to political stability. The continent, rich in natural resources, had to navigate the global economic landscape to turn these resources into wealth for their people. From the diamond mines of Botswana to the oil fields of Nigeria, the commodities boom of the late 20th century brought both opportunities and challenges. On one hand, it brought unprecedented wealth. On the other, it sparked conflicts and corruption. In the political arena, many African nations grappled with the transition from colonial rule to self-governance. Democracy, a concept largely alien to traditional African societies, had to be nurtured and protected. The journey hasn't been smooth, with numerous coups, civil wars, and instances of authoritarian rule. But step by step, Africa has been making strides towards stable, democratic governance. Today, Africa is a vibrant tapestry of nations, each with its own story of struggle and triumph. African nations are increasingly playing important roles on the global stage. From peacekeeping missions in conflict zones to leading the fight against climate change, Africa is no longer just a spectator in world affairs. Innovation is another area where Africa is making its mark. The continent is leapfrogging traditional development pathways, using technology to solve its unique challenges. Mobile banking in Kenya, for example, has revolutionized financial inclusion, bringing banking services to millions who previously had no access. In the face of adversity, Africa continues to rise, driven by the spirit of Ubuntu. I am because we are. This spirit, deeply ingrained in African cultures, is a powerful force propelling the continent forward. It is a reminder that Africa's strength lies in its unity, in its ability to come together as one to face the challenges of today and tomorrow.